Assignment 1A, Learning Story by Brie Culph. One day, Miss Thinkalot organised for her kindergarten class to go on a nature walk far into the forest surrounding their school. It had been a rainy day, but once the class stepped outside, the clouds moved away and revealed the sun. While the children were walking into the forest, one student noticed and shouted to all of the other students, "Look, a rainbow!" All of the students began to talk amongst themselves. One asked, "How are rainbows made?" Another asked, "Do they always have the same amount of colours?" Before long, all of the children are asking and answering questions based on their experiences with rainbows. They are using their own knowledge and offering it to each other to help find the answers. Miss Thinkalot notices that none of the students have asked her about the rainbow and instead chat amongst themselves to form their own understanding about the environment around them. The children are being active in their learning environment, offering experience and knowledge to form understandings. Social constructivism suggests that when Mrs. Thinkalot allowed shared discussion about the topic, she enhanced the students' learning through interaction. The rainbow sparked their interest in the environment. This is known as provocation. The rainbow got the students talking and sharing their knowledge. Provocation demonstrates to Miss Thinkalot what the children already know. She can then go back to the classroom with the questions that weren't answered by the students and formulate a research task about rainbows. The students head back to school. Miss Thinkalot knows the children have lots of questions about the rainbow, but knows that focusing on one question would be far more beneficial to the students' critical thinking skills, so she asks for the class to choose just one question. The class decides on one question: how is a rainbow formed? Miss Thinkalot has listened to the students talk amongst themselves and understands what the children do and do not understand about rainbows and how they are formed. She understands that she needs to provide learning resources for the students to explore further into the topic. Using elements of children's inquiry process, Miss Thinkalot asks questions about what was happening around them at the time of the rainbow. She observes and listens to the answers. She asks the students to think back and remember what was around them at the time of the rainbow. She guides them with visual memories and spoken word. She asks the children what they smelt, felt, and saw, and encourages them to talk amongst themselves and work as a team to remember all of the details of the morning. She asks the children to remember what one of their peers told them about the rainbow and share it to the group. Miss Thinkalot uses the children's initial engagement in the rainbow to create a research task. She observed their interest in the rainbow and how it was formed, using it to create discussion and exploration into a topic. She noticed straight away while on the nature walk that the children were trying to find the end of the rainbow, exploring, observing, and questioning each other on its location. The children knew that the rainbow only came out after it had rained, so Miss Thinkalot asked lots of questions like, where do you think the rainbow came from? Could you see the rainbow if it was in the shade of the cloud? Miss Thinkalot asked questions that the students didn't know but could discuss their ideas with their peers. When the students got back to the classroom and chose their question for research, Miss Thinkalot gave them lots of materials to examine and draw conclusions from. She gave them CDs and torches, colour glass and mirror. The students made lots of observations from the materials that they could use to answer the research question. Miss Thinkalot asked lots of probing questions to make the students think. She asked questions that made them think about their new knowledge and made connections to their already established knowledge. Miss Thinkalot noticed that a student named Charlie was struggling with conversation and discussion with his peers. Miss Thinkalot knows that Charlie has some trouble with new ideas and takes a little longer than his peers to become confident to talk about topics. Miss Thinkalot approached Charlie knowing that he loves magic and used some connections to his already established knowledge in magic to help him understand the rainbow. It appears out of nowhere after the rain, just like the rabbit appears out of nowhere in the hat, Charlie. After all of this fun, Miss Thinkalot asked the children to join her on the thinking mat. She asked every student what they found out today about rainbows and shared it to the class. Everyone put their knowledge together to answer the research question. Miss Thinkalot knows that the reason her nature walk created a research question was because her students were engaged with the world around them and were seeking answers from their peers while formulating their own understanding. Miss Thinkalot used Piaget's theory that experiences allow students to create schemas. As per Lev Vygotsky's social theories of learning, Miss Thinkalot understood that children would successfully complete their research task while working in collaboration with her and their peers. By asking thought-provoking questions, Miss Thinkalot created a rich learning environment. When Miss Thinkalot approached a student named Charlie, she put in place her understanding of cognitive constructivism and helped Charlie understand and make connection to the research question by making connections to his already established knowledge on another topic. She understands that Charlie learns when he can see something with connections to his interests.